Galnet News Digest, 25th of February 3307. We read the news so you don't have to.
In this week's news, Cafe Nero and Odyssey delays.
Very cool narrative.
PS Permits Procured.
Cafe Nero and Odyssey delays. Information has emerged this week that, unbelievably, at least one commander already has one of the fabled Odyssey permits, which gives him the ability to land on planets with thin atmospheres, get out of his ship, and walk about, to scan for and catalogue new biological data, to buy new and interesting weapons, to take missions on foot, and to blow holes in strangers he's never met. He's allowed to do the killing part because he has a bigger Peggy than most commanders, but nobody really knows why he's been granted a landing permit before everyone else.
The commander in question is Commander Cafe Nero. Many people think his name is due to his love of coffee, but it's not. It's because he likes to play the fiddle while the galaxy burns. Rumours say he has been planning a heist at one of the new settlements, but other commanders are powerless to intervene without the Odyssey permit.
Commander Cafe Nero has been feeding back tiny snippets of information about what it's like to walk about on planets. "It's very good," he said, in response to questions. He also revealed that there are toilets in space, and on planets of course, although he's not yet tried flushing one. On a rocky ice world, so he says, you can see the glittering specks of quartzite in the sand. We'll no longer see barren, dead wastes. We'll see new, exciting and infinitely variable ecosystems. He's the first commander to visit Pomesh 2C using the new mapping tools that come with the Odyssey permit, and while it looks different, he says that the planet remains stunningly beautiful, with stunning deep craters and lovely canyons. It looks, he says, insane. And most certainly not as bald as an Arthur's head, after all.
In terms of security, Commander Cafe Nero says you can walk around freely unless you do something that you shouldn't. If you're wanted, you need to steer clear of security guards who may politely ask if they can scan you, and equally politely gun you down if they find you're wanted. The penalty for littering is death. There are, says Commander Cafe Nero, a plethora of new mission types, some of which will get you wanted by the local security forces, and not in the nice way. When asked about encountering Thargoids, he asked what we wanted to know about Thargoids, but he didn't tell us anything. He hasn't tried standing in the wash of an engine to see if it's harmful, but he can confirm that being run over by an SRV is very, very painful. He can also confirm that commanders who have not paid for their Odyssey pass and who land on airless planets will not be able to see commanders who have the pass. This is because commanders with the walking around pass will be allowed to do more grown-up things, like shooting at each other, that Horizons commanders may not be old enough to witness.
Commander Cafe Nero is capturing footage of his visits to the new worlds of Odyssey, with the intention of starring in a documentary holovid of his adventures, which, if all goes well, could hit the galactic cinemas as early as next month. There's a big but under all of this, though. Commander Cafe Nero has been using the pre-alpha version of the Odyssey permit. In fact, he says it's not even the pre-alpha. Demonstrating what a git he isn't, he tried to explain that it's a branch of a trunk, but he clearly didn't have his Dyson biological scanner to hand to scan either the branch or the trunk. The pre-alpha he was using still needs lots of things added to it. For example, the correct procedure for reassembling dead humans has not yet been finalised, something commanders are likely to want ironed out before they submit themselves to the rigours of the planetary walkabout.
So this pre-alpha experience might not be quite the same as the final experience, and judging by these things that haven't been decided yet, the date for the release of the Odyssey getting out and walking about permits to all commanders who want them might possibly be delayed a bit longer. Who knows? But it will be worth waiting for. Remember those toilets! Very cool narrative. Ptolemy the Seer was in action this week, making predictions about future events in the galaxy. There will be a very cool thing in 3 acts, and if you're not there, you miss it apparently. We think this might refer to a play. Plays have acts, and if you're not there, you miss them. Memorials would be coming to the galaxy, not the tiniest little orbital graveyard yet, but beacons that will replicate their data. So you can read the words written in memoriam in a number of locations dotted around the galaxy. Buckyballers are doing another drag strip challenge at Quarters Base apparently, and the Comfy Cannon cruise has been announced. If you join that expedition, you'll be taken by luxury fleet carrier on a 400,000 light-year cruise to every known type of life, every stellar phenomenon, and everything that has ever excited a member of the Cannon Interstellar Research Group in the galaxy, over a 3 to 4 month cruise itinerary without having to charge your frameshift drive once. That's assuming the fleet carrier owner doesn't go rogue and start forcing you to mine void opals for him in some remote location. The fleet carrier Konzu will be departing the Variety System on March the 14th, 3307 at 1500 Galactic Standard Time.
PS Permits Procured. Campaigning news outlet Galnet News Digest has chalked up another victory this week, persuading the Pilots Federation to sort out a long-standing problem in double quick time. Up to a third of commanders using the PS4 flight control system have been reporting for several months that they were unable to land on planets despite having the planetary approach suite correctly installed. Your Super Soaraway Galnet News Digest reported about this on Tuesday, encouraging those affected to write into the Pilots Federation to complain. And within a day, the Pilots Federation, under the immense pressure brought to bear on them by both our listeners, had found and fixed the problem. Now at last, all PS4 commanders can land on planets, deploy their SRV, discover they don't have an SRV, return to a starport to buy an SRV, fly back to the planet and land again, deploy their SRV properly this time, drive around an abandoned settlement, get a wheel wedged in the corner of a building, spend 20 minutes trying in vain to free the SRV, self-destruct the SRV, and find themselves back in orbit, just like all the other commanders. Let's cross now to Commander Beetlejuice, who's about to mark the successful conclusion of our single-handed campaign by landing her PS4 Cobra Mark IV, which was supplied to her by the Pilots Federation, on the surface of Permits 2C. Commander Beetlejuice, can you hear me?
I'm here, Wotherspoon. Yes, I'm about to land on Permits 2C.
The canyons are spectacular there, aren't they? What's it like to see a planet close up for the first time?
It's really exciting. I'm using the famous PS4 dual-shock control system. It provides the sort of haptic feedback that the thrustmaster just can't deliver, beautifully engineered, with all the important controls conveniently laid out. It's like it's made from hand. Oh my god, I just tried to deploy my landing gear and the button's mapped to boost!
Well, it sounds like something must have gone wrong there. We'll obviously send a search party. Right, well, never mind. That was this week's Galnet News. Galnet News. Jude read the news, so you didn't have to.